I don't know. I think they made the movie they set out to make.
Yeah.
Like they knew it was a dumb premise and they didn't expect it to all hold together and be logical and everything else like that. They're like, we just want to make a fun movie about a group of people in a captive environment with just the stupidest premise about why they're in danger.
Welcome to Josh's House of Nerd podcast.
Hello, Nerd Nation. I'm Josh, and I welcome you to the podcast. Grab a cold evergreen goblet of blue milk and make yourself comfortable here at my House of Nerd, please. Now, for tonight's sponsor. Are you looking for a great place to have your loved one for that special night? If so, then come and join us at Steaks on a Plane restaurant. Here at Steaks on a Plane, you will have the pleasure of both great mother effing food with a great mother effing view. With steaks at 40,000 feet. Steaks on a Plane. Get your reservation now. Now on to the show. Today on the podcast, we are on the topic for the month, which is movies that take place on a plane or partially on a plane. And tonight's movie is Snakes on a Plane. The 2006 American action film directed by David R. Ellis and follows the events of dozens of venomous snakes being released on a passenger plane in the attempt to kill a trial witness, starring Samuel L. Jackson, Julianne Margulies, Kenan Thompson, Nathan Phillips, and Bobby Cannavale. Let's talk about that movie, guys, and stuff. The ever amazing Snakes on a Plane. It's just kind of fun to say. I don't know.
I guess. Yeah.
Mother-Fing snakes on a plane. How about that? I mean, I guess I'll start off. I thought this is a fun movie and stuff. I actually, when I saw it the first time, this is the second time I've seen it. I was kind of surprised that I liked it as much as I did. It's not like the most amazing movie on the planet, but I liked it more than I thought I was going to. I thought it was going to be a little bit more gimmicky. I mean, it's gimmicky, but it's more gimmicky, a little bit more, B kind of style movie. And it actually turned out to be kind of an okay action movie. I don't know how you guys felt about it. It's definitely not like top of the line, but hey, it's got Samuel L. Jackson. How can you go wrong with Samuel L. Jackson?
I expected it to be closer to Sharknado than it was.
Oh, did you?
And in fact, it was closer to Armageddon than Sharknado, I think.
Okay.
A little bit. I mean, if we're going on, there's like, I expected a Sharknado, and what I got was crappier Armageddon, maybe. So it's still gimmicky, lots of suspense of disbelief and stuff like that. The ending when the snake jumps out at him and he's like, "Oh, I've been wearing this vest." I'm like, oh my gosh. Like that one, I just kind of facepalmed. I'm like, really? That was like the worst attempt at a Chekhov's gun I had ever seen in my life. So it was a little rough there, but overall, like you said, it was an okay action film. It was a little gimmicky, but it wasn't Sharknado, which is what I was expecting. So my expectations were probably where they needed to be, I think, to enjoy this film.
And I agree with you. I think my expectations were a little towards that Sharknado type thing too.
So you
just
have
like
me
you boys.
You have me interested. Like what in your mind makes this like why Armageddon specifically?
So it's
good call,
actually it's close to real life in the fact that snakes could do this, other than a snake killing the electronics. That was really
I'm actually pretty sure snakes can't do any of this.
Okay.
Like this is not how snakes act.
That's true. Yeah, but it's like
it's not totally
adjacent.
disbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's like it's absolutely unbelievable, and it's just like Armageddon. Like everything, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, that couldn't happen.
Well, I was with you on the Sharknado thing because I don't think these aren't real portrayals of any real snakes. Like no snake acts like what these snakes do.
No.
anywhere in the world except for maybe a black mamba that's really aggressive, but then you have to be in their territory. So like it this doesn't make any sense whatsoever in the sense that if you're like, oh, this is a realistic depiction or
No,
is
I'm
edging
trying to find
towards
a way.
realism. Yeah, I
Trying to
was
find
like,
a way
this
to
is more
place
for
it.
me
Like,
like Sharknado because it's just like this is absolutely ridiculous.
I think maybe it was just maybe a little bit higher production quality than Sharknado.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah,
Yeah,
higher.
I
They
mean
definitely spent more, and
they
yeah,
they at
okay,
least had real snakes. I mean, they had 450 something odd snakes
yeah.
that they used throughout the film. So I mean, they had real snakes at some point. So at least they were working on some practical effects. So maybe that's where I'm leaning towards more of an Armageddon, where they were working on actual effects and practical effects, and it wasn't as low of a budget film as maybe Sharknado was.
It's a little easier on the CG team when only the attacking snakes need to be CG.
Exactly. It's like you want the snake to do
Because
what?
for some reason, snake wrangling is a lot easier than shark wrangling.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
funny how that
keeping a
is. I
snake
mean,
is probably so much easier. I mean, and this took in more than half of, or almost more than half of what it cost. So I mean, its
it's
budget
true.
was estimated 33 million, and they took in an estimated 62 million.
And yet
So
they
it's
said
twice.
it was still a disappointment. They said too, which was okay.
I
I
mean, I'd
mean,
be very happy if my film grossed, double what it cost. Like that wouldn't be the end of the world, and especially this film.
maybe
Like,
thought it was gonna be more because of Samuel L. Jackson's in it. I mean,
potentially, yeah. Well, they did a lot of, and that's just the money for the film. I don't wonder if that took into account all the marketing that went into it as well, because they had a huge. I was reading all about how they worked with their fan base and the internet. They had like 4 or 5 days of reshoots based on feedback they got and based on the whole parody. The reason we have the mother effing snakes on the mother effing plane was due to a parody, and they in the reshoots added that back in, from what I understood. So
and
I
it kind
wonder
of
how.
feels like it was added in too. Like you go back and
Yeah.
look at it, it kind of feels like it was just like cut in there, like at last second. Kind of the
which
way that scene is.
which makes sense because that was probably in the 5 days of reshoots.
Yeah, they
So
wanted Samuel Jackson to drop a lot more f bombs. Got it.
yeah, yep.
Can't go wrong there.
And what's interesting is I was reading a little more about it. Like, it's just interesting Samuel Jackson's take on this. Like, he loved the title. Apparently, his agent wanted to change the title, but Samuel Jackson's like, no, I like the title. Darius Jackson was a stand-in for Samuel L. Jackson. Apparently,
Who's Darius Jackson? Is that a
he-
football?
Yeah, he's a football player.
That's what I
Running
thought.
back.
Okay.
He was a running back for some team. So,
Because
but
we're all
Darius
big
Jackson,
football sports people.
yeah, but Darius Jackson of all people, like, yeah. So it was interesting to read a little bit more about it. So it's an interesting film just to read about it. This is Keenan's first R-rated film.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
I like him. Matter of fact, I like the part he kind of played as the video
Oh, I
gamer
love Keenan.
that landed the plane because he had 2,000 hours on Flight Simulator.
Yeah, right. Oh my gosh. No, I loved Keenan in this. I've loved Keenan ever since Keenan and Kel. Like, that was what I watched.
I agree.
I absolutely loved it, and just followed his career through SNL and all that. And I think he's still with SNL, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't
He is
watched
still with
SNL for a
SNL,
while.
and he's doing his own TV show on NBC called Keenan.
Oh, I should check that out because I haven't been
It's
following him for a while. But
got two
I love
seasons.
I love his Jeopardy skits, and oh man, he does such a good job.
Yeah, he's still he's matter of fact they let a lot of the cast because they didn't want him to leave. Kind of split their time at SNL, and he was one of them that split their time between his TV show and SNL. So you don't see him as much on SNL because of that.
You know who? Sorry, excuse me. You know what actress really surprised me that showed up in this one is one of my favorite actresses, Lynn Shay.
I
From
love
the
Lin Shaye.
from the Insidious series. I was really surprised that she was in this. Now, granted, she didn't have this massive role or anything, but
It seems like she has a lot of like usually smaller roles. Did you know she was in the original Nightmare on Elm Street?
I did not know that.
She is. She's at the very beginning when they're. She's like the nurse at the very beginning that's talking to Nancy about pills and stuff like that. Anyways, she's in it. She's the one that's in the dream when Nancy is sitting in the classroom, and Nancy's dreaming, and she's like, come here, and then all of a sudden you see this like lady, and then all of a sudden immediately she has like Freddy Krueger claws. That's Lin Shaye.
Oh,
So if you ever get a chance to look back on that, it's kind of one of her first roles.
Okay, yeah, I'll have to check that out. But no, I think the casting was done very, very well for this, for what kind of film it was. I loved the guy who played 3Gs. The fact that they called him 3Gs, I'm like, oh, considering the artist names we have nowadays, it's really not that far fetched.
No.
So, but his whole thing's like no touching, and he has like the hand sanitizers. Like, oh, that'd go really well in the COVID days. Like,
I like how they have his kind of like arc too. He's got like an arc at the very end after he does the gun thing, and then all of a sudden he shakes hands with that person. I'm just like, I know that was like they meant to do that, but that's just
character development.
I know exactly.
I mean, okay.
I mean, that's development. He wouldn't shake hands, and then he did shake hands.
Then he did shake hands.
Yeah, in this type of movie, it's good enough, I guess.
That's not the most you're gonna get. And David Koechner was in it too. I love him from all of the like Will Ferrell movies and stuff like that. He's actually playing like an actual, well, he's playing his normal role, but in a less funny, version of it. But it seems like he always plays himself and stuff. Do you know who I'm talking about? The pilot that eventually, the last pilot that dies.
Yes. I mean, I know
the
pilot, but I'm not making all the connections yet.
Yeah, he's in. If you look at him, he's in Anchorman. He's one of the group, the prime group of Anchorman. He's the one that tells Will Ferrell, "I love you." He's the sports guy. Champ is his name in Anchorman, and then and he's in a lot of Will Ferrell movies and a lot of comedies. Crap, I think he's even in like 40-Year-Old Virgin. And
I hate him. I hate that actor so much.
Why is that?
And it's just the roles he plays. Like,
he plays himself.
He's always the pervert.
One.
He's always the the one basically committing sexual assault, and it's just like I hate that.
That's what I'm saying. He's playing his same role he always plays, and it's kind of like, can you play anything else, dude? Now you're a pilot that's doing that. Now
I really hope you're not in that in real life, because it's
I hope not.
Yeah, the only role that he wasn't really a pervert in was Champ in Anchorman, and even then he was kind of weird.
I was gonna say, weren't they all kind of perverts in that movie?
I mean, they were playing 70s TV stars, so I guess so.
I mean, I think his in that show his catch line was "whammy,"
and that
he
plane
used it in a lot of
so big.
Yeah. No, it's huge, and like how it's like at the upstairs and the downstairs, and
like I know there's planes that exist like that. I've never been in one.
747s have a lot of those ones, but that didn't look like a 747 with an upper deck and all that stuff. When they show it from the outside,
especially nowadays where they cram those seats in there, like economy has gotten so much worse. Like even their first, like you could tell it had to be bigger for the movie to actually be able to happen. Like they could stand two abreast in the aisle, in certain places. I'm like, you can't do that. Even in first class, like there's no standing two abreast because they're packed in there.
Speaking of two abreast, there's always got to be a Mile High scene, I think, in these movies too.
Oh gosh, yeah. Wasn't
know.
that the first death
kill?
Yeah.
Well, I think that's the only thing that personally that this film has going for it is
it's
just
the Mile High Club.
Just how inventive the death scenes can be. And that's like, for me, that's the only originality in the whole thing, right? Is like, okay, we have unrealistic snakes. Fine. It's a horror movie to a degree. And so because of that, that's kind of what we're looking for, is just, what are the kills like? I mean, it's Final Destination, but with snakes, So how inventive are the kills? how yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's and then it's just they were super obvious with a lot of it. So I wasn't like, "Oh, that's really inventive." I was like, "No, yeah, that's I kind of expect
Poison,
yeah,
poison,
kind of expect
poison,
that."
poison.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was, I don't know. I didn't I rolled my eyes so much in this movie, and I think not necessarily because maybe they wanted me to. So maybe it's not a detriment of the movie that I did so, because they want it to be kind of an eye rolling experience. But that's really what I had with it.
Yeah, no, I didn't like I said, my expectations were undeniably low, so I wasn't disappointed because my expectations were already so low. But I wish they would have done more with the deaths. You're absolutely right. Now I think about it, it's like, because there's only so many ways you can die to a snake. That's, okay, yeah, venom, 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 venom. Okay, great. Okay, somebody else. Can he knock him into something, or can he just, I don't know, do something more than what was going on? And yeah, it was. And then I rolled my eyes a few times with those, and then I rolled my eyes when the snake knocked out the electronics. That was probably in the
or the
entire film one of the dumbest parts.
or the snake vision.
Oh my
The snake
gosh,
vision. Oh my
Oh my
goodness.
god, so dumb.
it reminded me of Tremors.
Yeah.
Tremors would have been better for sure. Tremors is a better movie than this.
It didn't have any planes in it, so I couldn't recommend it.
That's true.
You know what part that like I rolled my eyes on? Hey, let's blow out the window of the plane so that we
Suck
can
all
get
the
these
snakes out.
planes out of the cockpit.
That was so bad.
What? Well, how does that make sense? I mean,
it's just
come
as
on.
dumb as the rest of it. So
I guess. Jeez. I'm like, come on, guys, you can do better than this and stuff.
I don't know. I think they made the movie they set out to make.
Yeah,
Like they knew it was a dumb premise, and they didn't expect it to all hold together and be logical and everything else like that. They're like, we just want to make a fun movie about a group of people in a captive environment with just the stupidest premise about why they're in danger, and let's just make that happen. And they somehow signed up, good actors for it, and they made it work. So as far as like it became a movie and people liked it. I think people really like this movie. I just
it became a movie. Like, that's
Yeah,
high
it's-
praise for Snakes.
Yeah.
Because it's not it's not a bad movie.
It's not
We've seen
bad.
some bad movies.
I've seen worse for sure.
Yeah, we've seen
Yeah,
some
it's
way worse movies in this podcast and even in our normal lives than this movie.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Yeah,
this doesn't
yeah.
even come close to a bad movie compared to some of those. I mean, Ice Pirates, guys. I mean, come on.
Yeah, but in the sense that it is a movie that I want to watch again, not really.
No,
Not really.
No.
it's a movie that if I'm channel flipping, searching for something to watch, and I land on, I probably wouldn't immediately flip away, and it would become my background noise. Like, that's the highest praise I could probably give it.
I
Yeah.
could give it that praise. Yeah.
Maybe.
Wait, did you
That's
just
about
do
it. Like,
ratings?
are we already? I mean,
No,
there's not tons to talk about, unfortunately.
Well, I mean, it's no deeper than, did you find any of the kills especially cool? Was anything especially egregious? Should the baby have been fed to a snake just to get that shock value in there? I mean, there's all sorts.
They
of
did
things
do
you
the
can-
dog,
if it
so
was-
that was
if it
enough
was
of
M.
a
Night-
shock
If
value.
it was M. Night Shyamalan, he would have done the baby to the snake, just like he.
No,
you know,
the baby
did
would have been
baby scene on Old.
the prophesied snake charmer, and this actually
my
wasn't
gosh.
taking place on a plane; it was on a bus all along.
And the bus has to keep above 55. So we'll just start tacking things on here.
Oh, that's funny. Well,
Oh, and I was
it,
reading the
Go
reshoots
ahead.
are actually moved it from a PG-13 to an R.
really,
So it was going to be PG-13, and then the reshoots moved it into R.
they must have added more blood or something. I don't know. I
Well,
can't see what,
no,
except for
a
the
lot of it-
language. I can't see what would really hardcore make this
the
movie a
mother
hard
effing
R.
snakes, the mother effing snakes on this mother effing plane.
Okay,
Like, that would be enough to put it over to an R. At the time it was released, like, you were lucky to get one F word in a PG-13 at the time. That was 2006.
Mhm.
And nowadays, like, you can get maybe one F word in a PG-13, but doing two together like that, I'd be very surprised if that was not what pushed it over.
This movie would have flopped if it was a PG-13. There's no
I
way
agree,
they'd made their money
wholeheartedly.
back.
Why do you say that? Why do you think? Because a lot of times they say that rated R, they try to make PG-13 movies, try to make a movie PG-13 because now the younger crowd can go to them and they make more money. It's usually the rated R ones that they say, let's try not to make it rated R because now
Not
you just
for
restrict it
slasher
down.
not for slasher flicks, I think. Slasher flicks where there's explicit death on scene and it's, one of those types of things. People want that movie. The people that want to see a Snakes on the Plane movie want to see people get killed. And they want it to be, some level of gore, essentially.
Okay.
That's my take
Fair
on
enough.
it. So I don't,
enough.
I think if you make this PG-13, people just shrug at it. I don't think there'd be any excitement to go see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that because you want that.
I mean, yeah. And you got Samuel L. Jackson. You want him to say some stuff.
Yeah, it is kind of expected, I mean, heck, I was just watching him in Kingsman. I mean, you kind of expect him to be him in the, say things like that in the Kingsman. It's part of kind of his persona these days. And has been for a long time, even before this movie. On Snakes on a Plane, so anyway. But yeah, going back to your question before, Crit, I can't think of any like kills or anything like that anything that sticks out like amazingly,
Again, what did you think of the last one with the bulletproof vest though? And it wasn't a kill, but
honestly,
like
I rewound it because I was thinking like I saw him shoot the thing and shoot the snake and then he falls down and he doesn't have anything and I didn't get the gag, so I didn't wait long enough to figure out that he was wearing a bulletproof vest, and I was just like, oh, that's the final straw. Like it was already unbelievable this entire time, but now I hate this movie. And because I was kind of like, did I actually see what I saw? Did he shoot him with an actual gun? Did he, what's going on? And I actually rewound it. And then I watched it again and let it run through. I was like, oh, this is the stupidest movie ever. And then when it got to the thing, I was like, okay, this is a little less stupid, but it's still pretty stupid. Because there's no real setup for at least I don't recall there being so if this is a payoff, I didn't recall this being a setup.
Yeah,
there was
like
no
I said, I think
Yeah.
it was a crappy attempt at a Chekhov's gun because it's like,
Yeah.
well, you kind of forgot the first part. Like if you're gonna do something that comes back, like you have to introduce it at some point.
The only thing that comes back is the surfing thing. I mean, that's the funny thing is that comes back, but there's no setup for the bulletproof vest.
Yeah,
And I wonder if it was in a cut scene.
Yeah, maybe because that could have been a nice reincorporation. It'd be very hard to do it subtly enough where you weren't thinking of it the whole time. That he's in danger, but he's got a vest on. You wouldn't want to be that unsubtle about it during the whole plane trip. But you'd want something,
Yeah.
like I don't know.
No, I think you would want something, and I think they kind of missed the boat a little bit on that, and they came back around on a few things, but that they did not.
Yeah, it's a moment that didn't make me love the script. Like it didn't make me go, "Oh, that's cool, that's clever. Oh, they brought that back." It was just one of oh, this is bullshit. This is
I
total ass pull, and there's no reason. Like it doesn't endear me to the movie at all, and I don't know what the point would be if it just didn't want that. Like if it doesn't want me to like the movie.
Yeah, I agree, and I know it's supposed to be like a shocking thing. It wasn't. Again, I had no idea either what was going on, and then when he lifted I'm like, did he just shoot him over snakes? He shot two snakes, but right into him. What? So I was so confused that it really didn't pay off at all for me when I found out it was a bulletproof vest that he was shooting, that he knew there was a bulletproof vest there that he was killing snakes with. But anyway, this is just the way that movie is anyway. Just ridiculousness to the very end.
Very true. Well, that's all I've got on it. Honestly.
That's all I've kind of got too.
No notes.
Stuff. I don't have any more notes other than that. Let's go to ratings, and then we'll go on to the rest of the story. I on this one gave this one 6 out of 10 snakes on a plane. I like I said, I didn't think it was like a 5, but definitely not a 7, because it's I don't think I'll go back, and I might rewatch it, just like John was saying. I might rewatch it. I do own it now, but I seem to be buying them more nowadays, just because I can get them cheaper than on Vudu, or the same price as Vudu. So, anyways, but yeah, 6 out of 10. I don't think it deserves more than that. I didn't hate it, but I didn't really like it either. Like, I didn't like it a lot. Who wants to go next?
Probably wouldn't watch this with my mom, because I don't think she'd really enjoy it. So I wouldn't try to make her suffer through it.
You don't think she'd like the sex in the
Right, the Mile High Club. Yeah, that's
Mile
the
High
scene
Club
she
thing?
would want to watch. Like, that's something she'd be paying attention to.
Yeah. That's funny. What'd you think, Crip?
For me personally, it's like a 4 out of 10. Like,
Yeah.
not really my style of movie in the first place. And then second of all, I don't think it was the premise itself, I guess, was inventive, but how they used it wasn't like, oh no, that's cool and clever. It's more along the lines like, yep, okay. I mean, I don't know how the snake drug the final pilot into the hole, because he got bit up when he was sitting in the chair. So it was like stuff like that. I was just like, okay, this is setups for jump scares, but at the same time, it's like, it doesn't feel inventive in a oh, that's a cool invention sense. So yeah, 4 out of 10.
Sure. Fair enough, man. Yeah, I don't blame you on that one. All right. Well, that was fun. Let's go to. So I didn't ask at very beginning. John, are you giving the next topic for next week on this one?
I have picks and topic.
You have both?
Yeah,
okay.
I have both. Yeah.
Okay. I couldn't remember which one had the next topic. I knew you had the picks for next week though, and stuff. All right, Crit. I will turn the floor over to you, my friend.
Okay. I have picks and topic. We will do picks first.
Okay.
Number 1. Damn it, John. Number 2. Coping with terror in order to do the job.
Okay.
Number
3. How in the world did that happen?
Yeah, I think number 1 is.
I kind of like.
How can you not do number 1?
Go with the damn it, John.
All right. So number 2, coping with terror in order to do the job. Memphis Belle, the 1990 version.
Wow, I've never seen that movie.
The how in the world did that happen? Final Destination.
Oh, that would have been a good one.
And the one you picked, damn it, John, Die Hard 2.
Electric Boogaloo. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Die Hard 2. That'll be a fun movie to talk
John.
about. There's lots of gimmicks in that one, which is really funny. It's really. If we want to make a comment on Die Hard 2, I think that's what they were trying to do Snakes on a Plane with.
Maybe.
Now that I'm thinking about it, it's Snakes on a Plane, kind of like a Die Hard-ish like thing.
Yeah, I could see that.
I don't know. That's just popped in my head when you said Die Hard, and I'm like, okay, this kind of feels similar, a similar pick. Anyways, all right, I'm excited about this. I love Die Hard.
You ready for the genre?
Yeah, let's bring it on the genre, man.
Okay, next genre is the grotesque.
Okay, I like that one.
Explain that a little bit more. Flesh that one out a little bit.
Well, I'm leaving it vague on purpose.
Okay.
It could be grotesque in story and visual and atmosphere. Just, kind of let your imagination run wild.
Okay, grotesque.
Or it could be Grotesque the movie done in 2009.
We're
gonna review this movie 3 times. Which is basically like the what was this? Korean Saw, basically.
Oh wow. I am not sure if I'm looking forward to this one. I am one of those. I am not one of those guys that like I enjoyed the first Saw a lot.
It doesn't have to be, torture related.
torture.
No,
yeah,
Like
but
grotesque is, monsters.
Monsters.
Is atmosphere, is could be psychological. It could be visuals. You could do torture type stuff for that type of thing. But yeah, but you don't have to. I mean, any Cronenberg pretty much you can use,
yeah. Matter of fact, that's actually
or at least most of the Cronenbergs. Some of them you can't. So
one of the first ones I thought of. Yep.
yeah, History of Violence is Cronenberg, and that's not really grotesque. I would think, unless you're looking at it emotionally, then yeah, maybe.
Dude, I'm okay. I'm excited to find out what I'm going to come up with on this one.
Yeah, me too.
Stuff. Grotesque. All right, guys. Good podcast. I think we have some a good movie to watch for next week, and I can't wait to figure out my picks for Grotesque for next month. And as always, thanks everybody for being a part of this, and thanks for everybody out there listening. We appreciate you supporting our channel. For those who tune into us, thank you. And as always, may you be excellent to each other and live long and prosper from all of us here at Josh's House of Nerd. Have a good night.
Thanks for watching. For more nerdy awesomeness,